Hi ladies, it's Lee here, a woman in disguise, and today I want to talk a little bit about risk and risk taking. The word risk, I think a lot of times is associated with negative things because it's usually something dangerous or there's harm or there's loss associated, and the whole kind of simple definition of risk is kind of exposing ourselves. If you take a risk, you're exposing yourself to danger or harm or loss. But I'd like us to flip that around a little bit because I think if we don't take risks, we just can't grow and expand. If we don't take risks in life, we aren't going forward. We're just standing and running in place. And so I think risk is really a really important part of life that we need to embrace and not try to avoid. And with that, I think it's also fair to say that we probably take more risks than we realize, and that we sometimes think about risk as being these really big, lofty, dangerous goals or dangerous things. And I think, we really take a lot of risk every day, and we should give ourselves credit for taking those risks. And I think one of the areas that feels really risky to women is the area of beauty. And I think even that word can carry a lot of different emotion and thoughts tied to it. So I know for me, beauty was kind of this external thing, something that, if you looked like X, Y, and Z, or, you dressed like A, B, and C, then that was beautiful. It really took me years to really recognize that feeling beautiful and wanting to feel beautiful is a really natural thing, and that it's really an internal business, and that sense of beauty and wanting to be beauty is just as natural as the sun rising. And it also took me those years to really realize that somehow me wanting to see my beauty and feel my beauty wasn't about vanity at all. It wasn't about these external views of what would make me beautiful. It was really about me claiming a part of myself and being willing to see that part of myself, the beautiful part of myself. And believe it or not, wearing wigs for me was a huge part of that journey, and part of that learning process, because I became infatuated with wigs after one night, which is what launched Woman in Disguise. And that night I started this journey of taking risks, of seeing myself look really different. So really trying on different colors and different styles. And it wasn't always easy. It was hard sometimes. And I'd be like, no, get it off my head. I don't want to see that. And that was risk for me, because I think anytime as women, and not just women, but anytime as people, we expose ourselves and try something different and make ourselves vulnerable to judgment, that's risk. And we should take credit for that risk, because when we take one risk, then all of a sudden that thing no longer seems as risky, which allows us to do something else. And I think in the area of beauty, we really need to take those risks because we need to make beauty fun again. We need to explore and create. And more than anything as women, we need to open our own aperture of how we see ourselves. And that's really what wigs did for me. They helped me open my aperture of how I see myself, which allowed me to start to chip away at these external ideas of beauty and start to really get in touch with my true beauty, capital B beauty. It's a wonderful thing. And so what I want to do is ask you to take some risks when it comes to beauty. And when you see something that you really love, and if you have that dress that you love, that you bought, and in the dressing room you are in love with it, but then when you take it home and you actually think about putting it on because it feels different or somehow outside your comfort zone, or that color of lipstick, or the wig, which is an absolute awesome way to play with this concept. I'm telling you, incredibly powerful. I want you to take those risks and put it on and wear it out. I don't care if it's the dress, the piece of jewelry. And what I'm doing right now is I have a super strong lip for me. So my 2020 stepping out of my comfort zone from a beauty perspective, one of the things I'm gonna do is play with a really strong lip. It's something I don't feel comfortable with. So it's a risk for me to be on this video in what seems like a really strong dark lip color. I mean, that's just different for me, but I'm taking the risk because I know that the more I wear it, the more my aperture will open and the more I can appreciate something that just I really love. I love when I see a strong lip on a woman. It looks so great. I want to feel about me and a strong lip how I feel about all those women that have that strong lip. I'm like, oh, I love that look. I want that and I deserve that. So this is how I'm gonna start. You have to start by taking the risk. So I would love to hear which risk you take. Please write it in the comments, send it back to me, but please take the risk. You deserve the rewards of it.